Hello, people. So this is not my usual regular posting on this site, but as I said to as I said in one or two of my other videos, I will be recording my journey to creating a business in the next 6 weeks. So I've been going through some bit of frustration in the first week. This is actually the most important part of the process to convert an idea to a value proposition. So it appears that I still haven't made myself clear in all the presentation that I've done in terms of um, how the journey to convert an idea to a value proposition. Because I was trying to say that value customers do not buy idea; they buy the value the value that your product or service provides for them. So the question then is, as an entrepreneur, as somebody that's starting up a business, how do I how do I move from an idea to oh dear, how do I move from an idea um to how do I move from an idea to a business? How how do I move from an idea to a value proposition? What exactly is it that I do um, to convert? What are the steps that I've taken to convert an idea to a value proposition that I want to sell to customers? So, so this is the question that's been asked of me, and I've been, and there's been a question about um, whether or not there's a detailed step, whether or not my system actually helps people go through this incredible process that I say is important. Yes, this I have a system. I have an idea of things that you can do. So what I thought I'd do again in in this live broadcast is actually to show exactly what it is that I do to get from my idea to a value proposition. And so what I did was to do a mind map that I want to show you right now. And as you can see in the mind map, what are the things that the customers will gain? So I know my customers. Um, well, at least I have a vague idea of who the customer is. So what exactly is it that a customer will gain? What is the product vision? What exactly is it that I expect the product to achieve? And what's the behavioral change in the customer that I am really working on? So this is the way I frame the value proposition. So what I thought I'd do is actually just walk you through what I really believe is the value. So the starting point obviously is that the service that I'm providing doesn't exist in the way I'm providing it. So the service I'm providing will move a professional in the private sector development, will move that person from a state where there isn't any avenue to share ideas, to share knowledge on video and audio. There are event-driven sites and hubs and platforms that you can go and do research. Um, there are direct relationships that you can have with experts and seasoned professionals. But what I thought this business is that it would be best to create a sort of like a wider uh, no, a channel that will reach a wider audience that are not necessarily in development, but even if you are in development, so you can have easy access to seasoned experts. So you hear that an expert is coming on a live show, you go there, you can type your questions, and you get the questions answered by the expert. So you have a chance for interactions between you and the expert. Excuse me. And this is for private sector development professionals. So that's the service I'm creating. So the question for me at Ideas to Riches is then, how do I move from the idea to uh, stating this value? So the idea is that I'll move this person from having little or limited access uh, to expert advice and professional, to a state where they have constant, immediate, real-time access to a professional or an expert that they can ask a question of, and the question will be answered immediately. So it's rather like having access to these incredible professionals, incredible experts, having access to them in your living room. So without really having to do very much aside from connect to the internet. So this is the idea. This is what I am. This is what I am pulling together as a service. So what I thought I'll explain in Ideas to Riches, so you understand the process I'm going through, the thinking behind the idea, what you have to think about in terms of converting your idea into a value proposition that you will sell to customers. You have to think about where the customer is currently, and where the customer wants, or where you want to get the customer to, the desired state, and then the features of your product that transports them from where they are currently to where they're desired to be. So that's how you convert an idea to a value proposition. So in my case, for this business that you're watching me create, I have the idea. I know the idea is that they don't have immediate constant access to experts, and they don't reach right now. Whatever it is that they do doesn't get spread to non-development professionals. So I am providing a channel, meaning the interviews, the interaction, to move them to a state where they can do this. So the service is that channel. And if they use the channel, they can achieve the objective of interacting with the expert, getting their message out and speaking to a wider audience of professionals and non-professionals. So that's the idea. That's the service. And the feature of my service would hopefully change their behavior, would hopefully inform them a bit more, and would hopefully provide them with greater access to better knowledge and better context or better knowledge of the experience that people have had and the context in which they work. So that's the feature, and that represents the benefit that they will get if they buy into my service. So what I thought I'd do is to break that into three things. So the customer gain, as you can see on your screen, so the customer gain, the product vision, and the customer behavioral change. So this is what I've listed, and this is really me going through the service, going through what I think would be beneficial, going through the experience I've had personally, and this is what I've come up with. So there's the service is a dedicated video and audio source of lesson sharing. So when we work in isolation, sometimes we come across things that people may have done before, or we repeat the mistakes that people have made before because we work in isolation. But if we have a channel such as this, that especially video, because the video is the most popular way to find information these days. That's why YouTube is so popular, and that's why YouTube is the second largest. Oh no, the second search engine, largest search engine in the world. Google being number one. So, and even when you type in Google, the bars that come up have videos in them. So people connect more with video and connect more with people with information on video. So the idea is that I bring all of these experts and seasoned professionals together, asking questions, clarifying issues, detailing concepts, learning lessons from each other. Put it on video and audio, so you have a live discussion that people can play back later if they wish. So lesson sharing, new information about new approaches, and industry orientation. So if somebody wants to come into the industry, for instance, it would be good for that person to be able to go to a channel, an internet channel, go through videos in the internet channel, and really learn about the services and the business. And those are the future. Those are the features that I expect, or those are the benefits that anybody that engages with my service will get. And that's moving from the idea now to the value proposition. That's the value that somebody will get. Therefore, that's the value that I'm selling. So, as I was saying, the other gain for a potential customer or potential use of this service is that people will begin to fully understand the context of the results that they've reported. So if I work in a particular area on a particular project, I can write reports about the results that I've gotten, but the context in which I work is very hard to capture in a written report. But a discussion, questions and interactions may draw that context out, and that hopefully will inform somebody else that may be in the same sort of that may be experiencing something similar, or even just the way the methodology or the approach is modified to take to the context in which the person worked. That may actually really inform whoever is taking on the service. So these are things that I think will help you if you're starting a business and you have an idea. The idea is not what people will buy; it's the benefits and the rewards and the progression they may have in whether their business or some satisfaction that you're selling. It's the end result that you're selling to them. So the end result is what I am putting, what I have listed here. So provide context around the reports that people have written, source of understanding for non-development stakeholders, promote interest and investment in whatever opportunity a development project has come up with, learn key concepts. So people will be discussing in detail key concepts in development that people may have some issue understanding, and it's a channel to air opinion and debate topical issues within development on a regular basis. So this is a live call that people can really see from anywhere in the world, and this here would hopefully bring together professionals, and they will fully understand. They will begin to have a common understanding of some of the technical concepts. So these are the benefits, right? So the benefits are the value that people will pay for. If you're going to buy anything, if you're going to produce a product or provide a service, if you do it from the customer's perspective, you'll be able to tell them exactly what it is that they'll get out of the service or the product. And it is that the customer is paying for. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So I have the idea. I'm now detailing what people will get, the feature, the full benefit of the service. That's what people will get if they subscribe to this. So the third aspect of this is customer behavior. So we've talked about the gains, the feature of the product, the benefits that it offers the customer. So we're not talking about. So we're not going to go on to talk about the product vision. So what is it? What is it that I hope for the product? What do I expect to happen as far as this product is concerned? So, and that's what this is. That's what this product vision is. So I've listed a whole lot of things here, but obviously this will be refined as I go on, before I get to next week. So I want this place to be a source of learning, as I discussed earlier. I want the product to evolve into a channel where project implementers come to debate, where they come to promote intra project awareness and collaboration, independent source of gathering information, to just prevent people from repeating the same mistakes. So all of these items are things that I hope the service would evolve to. It will become, the hope is that it will become where people really get value. Now, this third element is probably the most important as far as I am concerned. How do I expect my customers' behavior to change? So I have an idea. I've listed out the benefits that a potential customer will get from my idea, which is the value proposition. But the ultimate idea is to actually get my customers to behave differently. I want them to engage with my service. So that requires a separate, that requires a different behavior in terms of the customer. So, and this behavior I'm talking about now is around the value proposition, not the growth assumption that we'll come to talk about when we get to the third stage of the process, which will be the problem solution fit. But right now, it is just to convert the idea into a value proposition. So we've talked about the gains, the feature of the product that will move the customer from one state to the other. So now, what is the behavioral change I expect from my customers? So I want them to use this as a first point of research. So if you want to find out anything about private sector development, I want you to come to my channel and do a search and hear experts talk about things. If you want to know more about people, seasoned professionals within development, or you're looking for particular staff, I want you to come over here and just see how people interact and begin to learn more about different people and so on. I want it to be a platform where it's the only place, or it's one of the places that you can go to get a context, and the context of our result and the work that we do in development is very important. So this is what I want. Anybody that wants to come into the profession and have a need to learn more about the profession, and I want my customers to really begin to get orientation of what development is, what approaches to development, the technical approaches, what it means, and so on. I want them to come to my site or to come to this page to find more about it. Customer have a convenient way to learn and share. Yes, I want customers to be to find this, to use this as the most convenient way of getting engaged with professionals. Peer review intervention ideas. So if I work in development, I'm working in a particular project. If I've come up with an idea, I want to come on this live show, discuss the idea, and get feedback from people and get comments from people that may help me define the idea even better. I want this to be a source of that. I think I've said this earlier. Share lessons, visual communication of field work. So I want people to really put video up on what's going on in whatever projects that they're doing, and load it up on here, so people can have, so it can have greater audience, people that are within development and people that are outside of development, willingness to provide provide support and be supported. So I want my customers to really seek support. I actually use the support that this platform offers. So if you have a community of people that work in the same industry, if you have community of people that are interested in how things happen within private sector development, and they're all sharing ideas and sharing and discussing, and this is a regular thing that happens and is a live video recording that happens. So it creates better knowledge, better awareness, and that's the sort of stuff that I see my customer be. That's what I want my customer to do. I want them to see this as a source of really good information, a source of support, a source of peer review, a source of debating issues around development. So these are the three things that I think makes the value a good value for my customers. So this is essentially what I mean when I say turning the idea into a value proposition. So list out the features. So you have the idea. What are the features of the idea, and what are the benefits that your potential customers will get from the feature, and how do you expect the customer to behave differently? What is it? What is the behavior pattern before they experience your service or product? And what is the behavior that you expect to have after they've experienced your product, or even during experiencing your product? Or what is the behavioral change that will get them more involved in your product? How do you see your product evolving? How do you see it growing? So from simple watching a 10-20 minutes interview session to actually beginning to use it as a research tool, as a research source, as information source, as video source, as knowledge source. That's what I want my customer to. That's how I want my customer to behave, and that's how I want them to think of the service that I'll be providing. So what exactly is it that you want your customer? How do you want your customer to behave differently when they become aware of your product? So these are the elements of the value proposition that I think you ought to pull together if you're thinking about converting your idea into a business, because value is what customers buy. I keep repeating that. It's the most important thing. Value is what they buy. And the other thing I think is worth mentioning here as well is that it is important. We'll do this much later when we're going through the process. It's important to validate the service and the product, or the product. So I have assumed that this will be useful for private sector development consultants or people that work in that industry. I've assumed that they will find this useful, but I will need to find out whether or not this is true. I will need to find out whether people in the industry will actually find this useful. And the only way I can do that is by really getting involved with the people in the industry, asking them specific questions about the services that I am pulling together to see whether or not this is actually a useful thing, whether or not this problem exists that they think they want to solve, or even if they want to solve it, is the way I'm proposing that it to be solved useful for them. So this is what I'm going through at the moment. So I'm as you can see from my mind map, I am thinking and listing out things as it comes to mind. So coming back from the gym, I was just thinking about all of these issues and how best to represent it on this channel, how to explain the journey from an idea to value proposition. And that's what I'm trying to do here on this live call. It's not a scheduled live call. It's just a call that I think I ought to do because I'm going through this process myself to create this business. And I want you to see everything that I'm doing. So hopefully it will be helpful for you, and you'll be able to do the same with your business. So thank you very much for watching. The next official posting is on Tuesday. But between now and Tuesday, you may see several posting, um, depending on what's going on with me and going on with the first stage of the process. So thank you very much. Watch me create my business my idea into a business in the next 6 weeks, 5 weeks left. Bye bye.